Welcome to
The Layered Tribe,
where we're unmasking blend reality.
It's the Jackie and Jenny show.
Okay. I am so excited. We're on day 4 of reviewing Blissfully Blended. I'm going to say BS. Again, if you can't handle language, I'm sorry, but great book. And today, I have my wonderful sister-in-law.
Hello.
I like to call Jaqueline. If you know, you know. But she has been part of a blended family by marrying my brother for how many years? 200?
204. No. 16 married, 20 total.
20 total. Oh my goodness. So she's been at this a while. Again, I've been at this for 7 years. It feels like 20, but it's only been 7.
Yeah.
But she is going to weigh in on some of the topics that Rebecca talked about, and I think is a good one. I guess, like, we both had our kids before we married our spouses.
Yes. Mm-hmm. 3.
3 for you, 1 for me. And our kids got used to us.
Being alone?
Yes.
Yes.
And then we intro this wonderful human of a man.
Yes.
And disrupted our little children's lives. I like what Rebecca said in her book, where she did kind of talk about how she was trying to placate her daughter while also trying to placate her boyfriend, and that it's a tightrope walk from hell, which it is. Because when you're in it, it is so emotionally devastating.
In the middle of bliss.
In the middle,
You're in the middle of falling in love and all of this stuff that's happy for you and happy for him. Mm-hmm. And then you have to face the reality that it's not happy for them.
True. That's true.
So, yes.
Also, though, at the same time that you're in bliss, you're feeling like what she talks about is you're being stretched.
Yes.
Paper thin. And I've even found myself like literally listening with both ears to like him talking and her talking at the same time. And it's very annoying to me. And they both insist on doing it. So I guess, how was I guess you have felt it too, and you worked through it, but then you worked through it with 3 personalities, not just 1. So I guess, tell me what an example of a scenario that stands out to you, that you really felt torn in, and then how you think that or what was a tip that helped you. Or you kind of made a good point earlier off camera that it never ends.
It never ends, and it doesn't matter really their age or where they are. You know, when we first started dating, I thought the easiest one was my son, because he was about to be 2. Mm-hmm. So it's easy. It's a baby. You love babies. Who doesn't love babies?
Right.
You know, until the scenario that I related to here is she mentions in the book, you know, the daughter liked to come in and cuddle. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And, you know, they're trying to watch a movie, mm-hmm. and the daughter's trying to come in and cuddle. And he's like,
I want my time with you.
And you want the time with him, but you don't want to be like,
baby.
Yes. My son, who was about to be 2, would sleep with me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And here comes this person now, you know, and my solution was, okay, well, we'll put a little bed next to our bed. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my boyfriend's like, what about our time? What about us time? And I'm having to listen to him and look at him while I'm holding my son. Mm-hmm. And he's just not falling asleep because he wants to be here where he just
wants to hang with mom. Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to placate both.
Yes.
Not to say he doesn't care, but he wants his time and he wants his time.
Yeah.
And you're trying to give it to both, and you're not really giving it to either fully because you're trying to give it to both. So
right.
By the time you're done with it, you're really done with both. You're just kind of like,
you're like, no, I need me time.
Yes. Now I'm gonna go take a bath.
Yes.
You know, I don't even care about this show anymore, this movie.
Yes.
Just let me be.
Yes.
Okay.
I did that was a big thing, and when we got together too, when we got married, because we didn't live together, which I'm gonna talk about on Saturday, living together before you get married. But we didn't live together, and so it was just this immediate rip of my daughter being 7, who had slept with me, to all of a sudden, like, now we're in a new house, she's in a new room, she's in a new space, and not being able to sleep with me.
Adjustment period.
I know the first couple of nights she's crying, I'm crying, we're both crying. And one thing that Rebecca did with her daughter that I really wish I would have known is she got like a little medicine box and put M&Ms, and she said on certain color day M&Ms, mommy's going to sleep with you.
Okay.
And so it kind of like gave them both, because she makes a good point that it's not just the kid who wants to cuddle with us. We want to cuddle with our kids. Like, this is the bond. And
we're transitioning too.
Yeah, we are transitioning too. And I guess this is something where when you're a couple in the first marriage, you're both the bio parents. The kids coming to cuddle in bed isn't a thing. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
It's just like, come on in, let's all pile in. They even have those family beds. I watch Magnolia, Chip and Joanna Gaines, and they have the big family bed, and they all pile in the bed, and they all watch a movie. And it's like, but this isn't your kid.
We do it now, with our twins, and they're 14,
which are bio.
They come in the middle of whatever we're watching. It doesn't matter what it is. We're gonna pause it, and they're gonna pile on the bed, and we're gonna cuddle, and we're gonna talk about whatever they want to talk about, and there's no rushing.
Right, that access is there.
Yes.
Yeah, the access is there.
They feel it too. They feel the acceptance of it being okay. They don't have to worry. Even when we joke and say, "Okay, get out,"
they know that's not.
20 minutes later, they're still there.
Yeah. But I want to watch what you watch. Yes, and I will say that something that we did split up for a year, and in that year, I kind of like, okay, we're not gonna push to exclude. Which unfortunately, Rebecca does. They did wind up divorced at the end of the book. Spoiler. I don't know if that's a spoiler alert or not, but she did maintain the importance of her relationship with her daughter, but obviously to the detriment of the relationship. So it's kind of like you do have to learn. It's this balance that you have to do. And I guess that's one of the things is like, it looks different from everybody. It looks different depending on the age, the birth order, the gender. There's so many factors. The personality.
Who's coming in too? You know, whether the person coming in has kids of their own, whether they don't. If you're coming for a person, like, for example, my husband didn't have kids of his own. So there was no history of cuddles with any children.
True.
Versus now there's a kid in the middle of our bed. By now, yes, he's used to cuddles and he's used to all that, but he wasn't, it was something foreign to him.
Yeah. Or my husband has 5 kids, and I don't think they do cuddles.
They cuddle.
Like they're just not cuddly. From what I've seen, we've been together, like I said, 10 years. He hugs his kids, but it's not a cuddles. It's not just a long,
formal.
It's not this like snuggly, let's get blankets and get under the, and watch movies together or anything like that. It's, it's usually in a hello or goodbye type situation. And, every now and then it's, you happen to be in the same space, but it's kind of like, it's a very deliberate, not a touchy-feely thing. And so even though he had 5 kids, and my assumption was he was used to all things kid related, there was just even how the dynamics of his family was different from ours. And so you kind of made a good point of like who is coming in, and the next book review that I do kind of talks about insiders and outsiders, because that goes back and forth at times. So when it's you and your kids, then your husband's on the outside.
Yes.
Where it kind of goes back and forth for me and my husband, because when it's me and my daughter, he's on the outside. But then when his 5 kids come around,
you're on the outside.
We're on the outside. Other than time, time is the thing that it looks like forces everything to find a rhythm. What do you think is something that helped when you were first kind of coming together and finding his place in your family with your kids? What is something that you either did or said, or something that helped your kids and that also helped him? Helped you, because you're in the middle.
Yes. Give them their time. My kids and I, we already had a whole, a unit. We were a unit, and we had our time, and we had our inside jokes, and we had our relationship. You have to let them have their their own without you.
True.
You know, which is hard because
then you're on the outside.
that's okay. You know, that's fine. But yes, but then you're on the outside and you have to let them have it their own way. When it's so hard for us to step out, you know, we want to say, yes, they can play and they can be playing sports, but you know, the second your husband says something a little rougher than you like, there you go, you know, or your kid doesn't listen or whatever, you tend to step in and then you're not letting them build their own dynamic.
True.
Which is so hard.
It's true.
So
it's building their
Mama
own
Bear likes to come out and she sometimes does more harm than good when she comes out.
Yeah, that is very true. I can definitely relate to that. What about you and finding that balance in between the two? It is something that goes on to this day. So even from where you were in the beginning and then where you are today, how did you manage it then and how do you manage it now?
I probably managed it horribly then. Probably because, like I said, I tended to try to overcorrect. You know, if I felt he was lacking, I felt like I had to be the one to make up for it. When it wasn't necessarily he was lacking, he was just doing it different than I wanted him to do it. And you see, like even now, he doesn't have the relationship with the three that he has with the two, the ones that are ours, but he has a relationship. He has his own relationship. They're not going to sit and cuddle, you know, but they call dad without calling mom, you know, and he calls them and he'll tell me, I talked to one of the kids yesterday and I haven't talked to them in a week, you know, so they have
that's
their
a good
own
place to be too. That's
it is.
So
and they know how to
when
call
you're in the
him.
beginning,
You're the middleman.
Yes.
No matter what, you're the middle person. And to get to a place where you don't have to be, you know, where he can tell me, you know, we're going to go have dinner with the kids this weekend. And I didn't have to participate in the planning of it. You know, they did it all.
I guess that's the point is you really put the key there is that you're the middle person. And I guess when do you feel like that changed that you weren't the middle person?
When I forced myself out, because he can tell you and they can tell you, but we still tend to meddle. We always want to meddle, you know.
Speak for yourself.
Even now, they're adults. And some of them have, you know, the kids of their own, and we still always want to make them better. We, you know, we don't want them to struggle. We don't want them to hurt. And sometimes that extends to the other parent. We want to protect them even when they're not in danger. We just want to protect them, their feelings, and they're not in trouble. They're not in danger. It's just us. So when you can, as a mother, force yourself to step back and not meddle and let them have their issue and let them figure it out themselves. That's kind
that
of
is super hard. Even as you're telling me that, I am just like absolutely.
Oh, it's hard. It's
not.
still hard today. You know, it's still hard today. They're adults and they think they know it all. And sometimes, you know, you want to just do it this way and or fix it or help them and
I can see it being more easy to do with adult children because I understand because my husband's children are adult children. And I guess because again, I have this outside perspective. I'm like, okay, you're like really caring too much about this. They're adults, they're gonna figure it out. Where I see him feeling that, that's an interesting perspective, which I'm so glad that you came because I mean, literally I can use that today. Like and I try, but it's really hard, especially like you said, when you get that tone, like, or, you know, you wouldn't have told your kids that, which from a man's perspective, my husband's like, you don't know what I would have told my kids, you know, and what I wouldn't have. And to be fair, he might have a point sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, no, I know for a fact he wouldn't have told the kids that.
Sometimes they do, you know, like I said, we have grown kids now and we have one recently going through an issue financially. My instinct right away is, well, we can help him. You know, he's a good kid. He pays his bills. He's just in a little bind.
Right.
And my husband's point is, let him figure it out.
Yeah.
If he needs the help, he'll ask.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why does he have to ask? We can do it.
Yeah.
Well, he figured it out.
Yeah.
And yes, if he needed to, we would have jumped in. But I don't even want him to feel like he can sink. Where my husband is, let him figure it out.
Let him try his sea legs.
Try, yes, and
let
then
him
see what happens.
Yeah.
And he figured it out. So.
And then you're like proud mama bear. Then.
Yes, and then I'm so proud because we did good. You know.
You're like, oh my gosh, we're such good
He did it all
parents.
yes. Goodness gracious, we're so good.
I know.
But yes.
Awesome. That's pretty cool that you made it to the point where you didn't feel like you were the middleman.
I mean, there's still going to be situations where you'll still be the middleman. You know, there's times where the little ones will come and be like, I need to talk to dad about this, but can you soften soften him up for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll look, the kids are going to talk to you about it, but think about it for a few days before we discuss it.
Yeah.
So he can ease in.
Yeah.
So you're still going to be, but.
Which I think that's just normal dynamics. That's, I mean, kids have been pitting mom against dad. Like mom said I could, dad said I could, I think that's not unique. It's just the kids in play with two parentals. But I think when you're talking about when it's not the biological link, we tend to be a little bit more critical.
Yes.
And we do tend to want to protect our kids. And to your point, there really isn't danger.
Yes.
And they're not really out to hurt them. That's pretty awesome. That's all the time we have for today. This is a topic that can go so deep.
Yes.
I love that you said middleman, because literally in all my research and reading, I haven't found it, but it's the truth. That's what it is. And so already dropping truth bombs and providing solutions and terms. And so I guess our information is below. If you want to call us, let us know. Are you feeling like the middle person? Because I know I do sometimes still. I look forward to the day where I think that's a great goal to have.
It only took 20 years.
It only took 20 years. So, hey, I only have 13 more years. And call us. Our number is here on the screen, and let us know. Email us, message us on here on YouTube or social media, wherever. Let us know any good tips too, because we're looking for solutions, not just complaints, but we're here for those too, because that's good views.
If you had that scenario, how did you resolve it?
Yes.
Did you not?
Or did you not? How many years have you been at this? You might need to be looking for that 20. All right. We'll talk to you later. Good luck on your large pie. Bye.
It's the Jackie and Jenny Show.
Don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. Welcome comments, testimonials, thoughts, questions, or rants, either by submitting a form on our website or leaving a voicemail at 281-946-9886. This is Jenny, and I wish you strength, grace, and wisdom as you continue this tricky journey with your modern lyric tribe. Bye.